5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to HVAC Success Secrets Revealed, a show where we interview industry leaders and disruptors, revealing the success secrets to create and unleash the ultimate HVAC business. Now your hosts, Thaddeus and Evan.
Hey, welcome back to another HVAC Success Secrets Revealed with Thaddeus and Evan, where we have good conversations with good people, and any good conversation worth having is worth having drunk. So cheers, gentlemen. Billy, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey,
again.
You're welcome.
I know you're pouring yourself a drink here, so why don't you explain to us what it is you're drinking today?
So I have a little Topo Chico, which is a mineral water from Mexico.
Nice.
And I mix this up with a little George Strait tequila called Código. This is the 1530. And so it'll give it a kind of a brown color. And in Texas, we call this a ranch water because when we drill wells, we kind of get water like this. It's got a little bit of little bit of brown in it when we drink the water on our ranches down here.
Nice.
And this is a very popular drink. I highly recommend it.
Nice.
Can't wait to try it next time.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Down there. Cheers.
Delightful. Well, for those of you that do not know Billy Stevens for some strange, odd reason, I don't know why you wouldn't, but Billy's been around the industry for what feels like forever. He's been a legend in the industry. He's run his own business. He sold the business. He's run a private equity company and been on the board for that. And then he got into what he's doing now, which is Sera Technologies and SeraSystems. And he's also the CEO of BillyGo, which is the test company that they launched Sera with, which is just phenomenal. And if you haven't checked out Sera yet, you really, really should, because it is a phenomenal software that you can use to run your business in the most efficient way possible. And we're going to get into all kinds of things around efficiencies today and how you can really run your business better. So welcome, Billy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries. So last time you were on, it was in February. We kind of talked about, your background in the industry, how you got into it, what it was that really made you successful. But you've been making some really big changes with Sera and how it is that you're running that system. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that and how it is that is really making a big impact on businesses and how efficient they're able to run. So why don't you give us a quick little update in terms of the software and some of the new things that you've launched since we chatted in February?
Wow, I didn't realize it's been that long. It seemed like we've been staying in touch, so it didn't, the time's flying right now, I guarantee you.
Absolutely.
So since February, a lot's really happened. So we technically launched Sera just before that. I would say late November is when we officially went live with it. And, we've seen a lot of success, and we've grown the business quite a bit. And one of the reasons that we've grown it is because in my opinion, it's just the architecture of the way we built our software. And I'm going to get into that here in a minute. And first of all, I want to talk about job time efficiency because it's such a big game changer for your company and something that you can do immediately once you get on Sera. And what job time efficiency is, the goal here is for us to be able to charge for every minute of everyone's time all year long. And if we can do that, you will have a very profitable business. And what I mean by every minute, when a guy's driving to a job, when a guy's getting a donut, when a guy's filling his truck up, whatever he's doing, you're getting paid for that. And there's no more downtime. If you have to go back on a call, maybe you installed a new system and for whatever reason, one wire came loose. You go back, that job, drive time, the time that he spends doing that is all automatically kept up with. It's not you don't need a person to go in and enter this data. All of it is live and it accounts against that actual job. So if you sell a job for $10,000, say a new AC system, and most companies, if you talk to them before they know about job time efficiency and margin pricing, they're going to tell you it takes 6 to 8 hours to put in a complete system here in the South. I don't know what all goes on up there in those basements, but in Canada, where you guys are.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you've got an 8-hour job, and we got this thing called flat rate. I don't care if it's the old flat rate, the new flat rate, or whatever it is. When you ask someone what your labor rate is, they tell you it's $300 or $400 an hour. And that's so wrong. It's not right at all. It's just a made up number from a bunch of other numbers that you can't actually decipher or divide up or figure out what your labor costs are or any of this stuff. So the answer isn't 300 or 350 or 400. Your labor cost is a fraction of that. And you can't even, it's impossible to even know. And so what job time efficiency does, combined with margin pricing, is basically when you send 2 people to install an air conditioner, which is what we do, that's 2 people working 8 hours. So the actual hours on that job is 16, because you're paying 2 of them to work 8 hours, not 8 hours, right? Not only that, you send a technician out to this job, and he finds that you need to see a salesman. So in Sera, he can schedule the salesman's appointment with Mrs. Jones, the customer, from his tech app. He didn't have to call the office. He didn't have to do any of this stuff. He does it straight from the tech app. They set up the appointment. Salesman comes out and he sells it. And then he can schedule the installers. He can see the availability of the installers. He knows that there's equipment that needs to be, what equipment needs to be picked up. All that stuff's handled. And so say the technician spent 2 hours there. He didn't do anything, but he was there. He drove there. He did the work, or, put some Freon in it or something like that to keep them going. And then the salesman came in, spent a couple hours there, and we know we pay them a commission on most cases. So we have to allot for that amount of time. And so at the end of the day, the real amount of time that it actually takes to install an air conditioner is somewhere around 20 to 22 hours. And you can figure this out with Sera's system, because it will actually help you to see that at 20 hours, you're still inefficient. You need to charge 22, or maybe you're at 22 and you need to charge 21. It's going to help you figure this out. And so when we first turned it on at BillyGo, and I pride myself on efficiency at BillyGo, but without this tool, we weren't able to accurately charge for every minute. We tried our best. And when you turn this on, if you've been on Sera, it'll go back in history and give you your job efficiency for everything that happened in the past. And you go back and look at it, and literally we were like 37 to 42% efficient for about, up and down in that area the entire time prior to job time efficiency. So the team gets together, and you can actually go job by job, or look at the tech, or look at a category of jobs, and you can see which ones are taking more time than what you're charging for. And so we went in there, made our changes. When you add a minute, you add a amount of money to that minute. Let's just say that you charge $60 an hour. This is totally easy math number here. Or your job. So for every minute, there's $1, right? And if there's 2 people, you should be charging $2. And what was happening is we were using the 8-hour system for an install, and we weren't capturing all the other trips and all the other costs, even the permit, all that stuff.
Right.
And so we went in there and we adjust our pricing, and we got our margin set to where we wanted it. And immediately the first month using it, we were able to go from 30, 40% all the way up to 74%. And then the next month we were 87%. And then we fluctuated in the high 80s, low 90s ever since then, as we still tweaking this thing. Now let's talk about this for a second. I have not added any more technicians, but I've doubled the amount of revenue. If you think about it, if you go from 40% to 74%, we're 34% better than we were before, and I didn't have to hire anyone. So we brought 34% more money in with the same people.
Well, actually, you would be 100% better.
Yeah, whatever the math is on that.
Right.
So
yeah, you're doubling.
I had some ranch waters before we started.
you're like, yes, it's a 34% gap that you improved upon, but that is 100% more efficient than where you were before.
Basically, it is.
Yeah.
And so therefore it doubled. And so we went from, being inefficient and struggling to get to, $500,000-$600,000 a month to $1.3 million a month the same month previous year. Just amazing growth. And BillyGo's not even 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you, I'm not trying to build a big business. It's just happening. I'm focusing on Sera, but BillyGo just happens to be growing. And, we'll settle in around 10 or 12 million this year. But the difference is if we do 10 million, we'll make 3 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you don't have to build a $30 million business to try to make a couple $1,000,000. You can do this on a $5 million business, $3 million business, and build your business as you go, but do it profitably. I have a lot of our clients, they text me, they get my phone number, or someone gave it to everybody, I guess. And they'll text me.
Get in touch with Billy. His number is.
Yeah, here we go. Ain't nobody watching this podcast. Don't worry about it. Here it is.
It's on the bathroom stall somewhere.
Yeah. Want to be efficient? Call Billy. Whatever.
The thing that stands out to me about all of this, and I wrote it down here, people often say that ignorance is bliss, right? When you don't know the information that you don't know, it doesn't exist to you, so it's not painful. And I completely disagree, because when you say exactly what you just said, ignorance is pain, because that's double the revenue that you're missing out on with the exact same team that you currently have.
Yeah. I mean, literally we were able to do this without hiring people. So we hire people because now we're more efficient. We can do more. And so we grew. And for a company that's not even 4 years old with a part-time owner, the thing just keeps exploding. And we're seeing this from our customers. And like I said, they text me. And you know what they're texting me, guys? I'm just going to say this right now. I'm not going to take any of the compliments for the revenue, because revenue doesn't matter to me. I mean, revenue's going to happen. You run a good business, you're going to get revenue. And everybody focuses on revenue. But what they text me after being with me and around me is they text me their EBITDA, right? They text me their gross profit, they text me their net profit, and they text me their EBITDA. And I tell them, don't ever text me your revenue. I don't want you to focus on revenue anymore. And Victor Rancour is a perfect example of this. We took a business, he had a fairly large business, $25-30 million. And I said, you need to cut your business in half. So the first thing I told him to do is be a $15 million business. And we took him down to a $15 million business. And he's, in his history of running his big business, he never made any money. He was just barely there, just barely there, almost making money. And growth is costly, right? It's hard to make money when you grow. And every single month that he's been on Sera, he's had double-digit profits to the bottom line. His EBITDA is in the 20% range right now. He's probably going to bank $2 or $3 million this year, more money than he's made in his career. And he just got going with this in November. And I'm seeing this from other companies around. We have a company in East Texas, 80,000 population, a $3 million business, now is doing $7 million. Started with this in January. But the thing he is my number one. He's beating us at BillyGo. He's a 31% EBITDA. Think about that for a second. 31% of the money is going to his back pocket. Now he's able to pay his techs more. So he's getting all the techs in the town, right? He's able to dominate that town. And he's grown the business to over $7 million from where he was the year before, and improved his EBITDA tremendously. He had very low EBITDA, like 8%, all of 2021. And now he's at 31%. And the efficiency has a lot to do with it. And he'll tell you that that's what he feels like drove it, efficiency and of course, memberships. I always talk about memberships, but I think we talked about that a lot here last time.
Yeah. And, I see some of the comments popping off on the side, and I do want to get to a couple of those questions, but, it makes me think of, okay, well, and one of them is talking about another company that we're not going to name in there in terms of how confusing and complicated that it can be in terms of the information and just overwhelming. So when you look at efficiencies and it's tracking time from here and it's tracking time from here and it's tracking time from there, how much manual work is involved with those individuals? Are they having to constantly change and track and input things, or is it essentially a button and a button, or is it just doing it automatically?
Automatically, man. It's from the time they get started till the time they're done, and it follows everyone, even if they don't have a tech app. Let's say it's a install crew and you got an installer and a helper. The helper is tracked along with the installer, so you can build work crews. And once let's say your guy that goes with the same guy every day calls in sick, and you need to put a different guy in the truck with him. That's literally, you drag his name to that guy, and boom, that's all you do. And Sera keeps up with both of them.
So it's almost like it's using GPS coordinates to track
it does.
The time in between. It
does.
Also.
And so we can divide up travel time, stationary time, like getting gas or whatever.
Sure. So
and work time.
No, to have that automagic is probably, and I like the word automagic. I don't use automatic anymore. It's automagic. I like how you played on that too. But like, that's super important for a business. Now you don't have to go in and manually change shit and have your guys and your techs and your office crew and your sales guys, everyone in the office forget, oh shit, I forgot to go log my time for this, and now they're making it up, right? Like my wife's business that she works for, it's not her business. She's working for somebody. They have to do manual timesheets, and it's the bane of her existence, because at the end of every single week, her timesheet was due, and then she's got to go back to figure out what job she worked on, and some of it's estimated and some of it's made up. But to have it automatic, guys, is a huge thing. So
huge.
So I want to get into one of Jason's questions. You know, when you're looking at somebody comes on board with Sera, and they look at coming on board, their history, let's say he's with House Call Pro, you know, how easy is it to import that data in from a House Call Pro or Service Titan or Service Fusion, wherever that they are?
Yes, sir. So House Call Pro, we can import your data. It usually takes us to get the data out of House Call Pro. Here's the thing we always say: if you can get it out, we can put it in Sera. And some softwares don't allow you to remove pictures. Right? It's not in an Excel spreadsheet, you know, and so we can only get out what you can give us. And so, yes, we can do your history. We can do all the stuff, all your customers, all your numbers, everything that you need. We can do it. And the thing is, it doesn't take us months to do it. We can do it in about 6 hours. We have bots that go in, and while it's in there, it's fixing your duplications. Say, for instance, you may say that you have 10,000 customers. And then once Sera goes in there and sees all the, perfect example, Billy Stevens with a V, Billy Stevens with a PH. It just depends on how they put you in, right, over the years. And it will take those duplications and merge them all together, and then ask you if you want to combine it into one person or one address or whatever it is that you're trying to do there. And so you can go from 10,000 to 8,000, but now you really know. So if you do direct mail, you're not sending 10,000 pieces, you're sending 8,000 pieces. And so it will do that for you as well. And then the onboarding is, you know, it's a 35 day process. It's all up to you. If you want to move fast, we've put people on board in 2 weeks. It's just how fast do you want to go? You get a customer advocate the entire time. We hold your hand the entire time that you are onboarding. And then you get a customer success person that is available to you at all times for the entire time that you have Sera. There's no calling and waiting, email and waiting, none of that stuff. We return any and all questions within a 40, I think our average right now is like 47 minutes at the latest. And so we actually built the success team and the onboarding team before we built the sales team. We knew this would sell. Right.
And it's starting to sell itself.
Yeah. And it sells itself. And so we really bulked up on customer service, and we want to pride ourselves on customer service. And if you ask anyone that's gotten our product, they will actually tell you that the customer service is amazing, because we respond, and we respond immediately.
Well, and a testament to that already is Stacy Four is chiming in the comments, who I know you've had a great impact on in terms of selling memberships, and really helped her out with that. And she even said, you know, she's not using Sera yet. She's planning to transition over still, but imagine if Billy's been that good to me and we're not on Sera, how amazing his info will be once we're on it. A true
Thanks,
testament
Stacey.
to what a giver you are in terms of just making the industry better and elevating the industry, helping those that are in need, regardless if they're a Sera client or not, because at the end of the day, it is about helping people.
That's right. That's why I came back to the industry. I took some time off. I've been very blessed by this industry and beyond my wildest dreams. And I just felt like I didn't give back because I built my businesses and kept it to myself, right? All these things that I did that made it so profitable when we had pen and paper. Go to Walmart and while you were out, pad. So, that's kind of how it was. And we were able to build in, policies and procedures to make everything work. And even on pen and paper, our EBITDA was 24% back in the day. And that's how we kicked off this PE thing, 11 years ago now, when we first started, when we started that whole idea. And we didn't know where that would go. That's gone bonkers. Back then, the only way you could sell your company is like to a competitor, give it to your kids, or just close it down.
Yep.
That was your choices. And so we, the roll-up stuff didn't work. A lot of people got burned, lost their businesses, left with, all that stuff never worked. But, and I was skeptical, but it made sense to me if they used the proper way to build a business. And so that's what we started with, to build, the empire that is now created through the PE firm. It's just building good procedures and policies to make it work efficiently. And so anyway, getting efficient is the biggest thing you can do. And what these companies are seeing, let's just say that you don't grow a penny. You're the same sales year this year and last year. But if you improve your efficiency by 100%, you're going to be that much more profitable. That goes to the bottom line. It doesn't matter what your revenue does. All your profit and all the things that you need in your life, whatever, the money to do whatever, is in your financial statement already. You just haven't figured out how to get it to the bottom line. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. We are a software that will help you run your business, and all the information, the way we price, we don't do flat rate pricing, we do margin pricing. The reason we do margin pricing, because when you go and see your P&L statement, there's no line item for flat rate, but there's a line item for gross profit and margins and net profits. So we built pricing just the way your financial statements should read.
Right.
And it makes it very simple. And I also, my customers come to me and want to do financial reviews, and I'll look at their financials for them, and I give them some tips, and they go in and they take off and they go and try it. They come back and we see this big change in their numbers 30 days later. And this is how we do it. And so I spend a lot of my time doing that every week.
Sorry, I was trying to find this comment here from Everett on the chat. I was driving in. Yeah. That Sera may actually have a piece of Billy's brain inside of it. When it starts talking, it may have a formal, soft Dallas accent. And then Thad said, it better say y'all or I'm out.
Yeah. It's funny, my lexicon has added in y'all quite a bit, but
yeah.
I was actually before even Everett chimed in, now that he's likely listening to this, the fact that Sera sells itself, Everett's job is pretty easy. And that's probably why he still has a job, because his product is just selling itself. No, I joke. I love Everett. Everett's a great guy.
I love him too. But if Everett can sell it, anybody can, right?
Right, there you go.
You get me back for that later. He's a muscle guy. He can hurt me, so I got to be careful.
He'll spin the wheel in his office, and every single one of them will be where to punch Billy. So the one thing that I wanted to chat about, and I've said this for a long time, and I know that recently read a book, and the big kick on that was people, product, prices. And so and you mentioned something in there that you built a customer service team first. And that was your first and foremost thing to be able to do, because when I think about people, I don't think just about your internal people, it's also your clients too. The product is, one can argue is your customers, but no, it's your people. right? You can't have your product without A, your people in the office, and B, your customers that are buying it. And so taking that idea of putting it central to them was a key move, because you're talking 47-minute, response time average, which is unheard of. You go to some places and you got like a 47-day response time. You don't hear back, and it's just tough for them to be able to do. I do want to know a little bit more about that. When somebody has, because you've been in it, somebody has their business, they want to grow it from, let's say they're $1 million and they want to grow to, $15 million, but they want to focus on their people first. How can we spin that specifically into an HVAC business, and what are some things that they can do to be able to grow their people first?
Awesome. Well, culture is the number one thing. And another thing that I coach my new companies on is that first meeting that you should have once you're on Sera, or even before you get on Sera. And that meeting should be with everyone in the company. You bring everybody in the company, and you have all the technicians and field people sit up front, and you have your office staff sit in the back. And the reason we do it like that in this first meeting is we want to take and explain how we want our company to be from here on out. Now, first and foremost, I don't believe that the customer is always right. I never believed in that philosophy. What I believe in, if I train my technicians and they're happy in their job, they'll make the customer happy. So I don't have anything to worry about. So instead of focusing on the customer, we need to focus on everyone in the company. Now, the structure in the company should be everyone that's in the office is the support staff. That's what their job is. They're to support the guys in the field, because the guys in the field are the face of the business. BillyGo is not me. It's the guy that's in that customer's house. And if he's properly trained, he's well versed on what he's supposed to do, and he's well paid, and he loves his job, these customers are going to respond to that. And so in this meeting, you got to make it very explicit that everyone in this company is there to support the technicians in the field, whether it's helping them get their bids put together so that you can rehash it or call the customer back for them. Anything that you can do to make them more successful in the field, you do it in the office. And that's the nice thing about Sera. By not complicating the business and making it easier to use, you have more time to focus on making these technicians better at their jobs and show them that you support them, because it's not fun being in an attic. I'm sorry. I can't even step in one for more than a minute. And so this is very important that you do this on every single day. And what I see mostly from companies that have been established for a while is the inmates are in control of the asylum. And that is, I'll do whatever I can to keep this tech because I don't want to lose them. Someone's going to take them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Well, how do you keep that guy and stop worrying about that? Well, show them that you're going to do everything in the world to make them successful, because no other company is going to do it. And you're going to back them 100%. And you're going to give them the tools to increase the revenue so they can increase their pay. And then as they increase their pay, we increase the pay of everyone, and we get more benefits. Heck, we have a massage lady come in, and all the people in the office get a massage every week. 15-minute massage in a massage chair. We have someone come in because we saw, like, take a break. You know, we got time here, and it's not every week. It's probably like every third week or so. I won't spoil them too much, but I'm just kidding. And so we're taking care of them because they're the support staff. So now you got to take care of them as well, right? And so when you have a company that's doing 20+% EBITDA, you have the money to take care of your employees. And so BillyGo is gonna, make $2 to $3 million this year, but we'll take 25% of that and we'll give it back to the employees. And we'll take the other 35%, pay our taxes, and maybe I'll get a paycheck when it's all said and done. But the whole point is if we all do the best that we can, and we get our business, the business owner has to get control of his business back. Mm-hmm. You got to stop worrying about someone poaching your people. If you take care of them, they're not leaving. Yep. And it's not money, it's support. And it's, I'm going to help you succeed. I'm going to help you be better at your job. The money is second nature. It comes with the support and with everybody's attitude and the culture. That's where the money comes from. And even if it's the lowest guy on the totem pole in sales. I mean, job time efficiencies told me that usually the guys that are in the middle of the road are the ones that make us the most money. The guys that sell the big ticket stuff, they sell something and then they go a couple of calls where they don't. Where that guy that's fixing stuff, I may sell my equipment on a 60% gross margin, but I'm selling my repairs on an 80% gross margin. So I want to do repairs too. And so when these guys go in and they're doing these service calls, they may not sell a lot of equipment, but they're moving a lot of money. And if they're efficient, they're in most cases more profitable. And so you'll learn this. And so we got to get away from that. Oh, this guy's the top salesman, putting our arm around him and bragging and always like, oh man, we got to get this call. This guy's the best. Da, da, da. Well, he may be the best in revenue, but is he the best in efficiency? Is he the best in profitability? And these are the things you need to know. And you would be very surprised by who's making you the money when you really actually look at it. Now, I'm not saying that if you have a guy selling $2 or $3 million worth of stuff for you, he's making you some money. There's no doubt about it. But the other guys, maybe their revenue isn't where you want it to be, but let's look at their efficiency and let's look at their profitability, and then we can back off and support them as well, because they're good at what they're doing. We all need good repairmen, right? Guys that fix stuff. We can't have just all salesmen. So we got to support them the same way. And it's just culture. It's just getting everybody aligned with what they're supposed to do.
Totally. Well, there's a couple really great nuggets in there. Number one being money isn't the greatest motivator when it comes to employee retention or bringing on new people, right? People care greatly about culture, about security, about the other benefits that come with it, and about support, like you mentioned. Money is often the fourth reason as to why someone quit, not the first three. So if you can better support them in those ways, I think that goes a long way. And it really comes back to, even when I look at it from the marketing perspective, so many companies try and take the quick road to attract employees, to attract leads, and have it be discounts, rebates, money off, right? How can we make a sale today, not really build the brand? They do the exact same thing when it comes to hiring. And how can we just pay people more? We're going to keep increasing salaries, keep increasing pay, so that we can try it and attract people and buy people from other places. Right. When the culture's toxic, they don't have the support systems in place, they're not profitable, and so they can't do those things to really keep people around.
Sometimes you got to go slow to go fast.
Absolutely.
You got to slow it down and take a step back and take a look at your business, and start working on fixing those things, the culture, the support. And if you show support, you're not going to lose guys. And we've never run an ad for a technician. We have never run an ad, ever. And if we could get trucks, they're waiting for us. We don't have that issue. Right. We just can't get trucks. And we would have done way more money this year, but can't get trucks. So that's fine. We still grew a lot. And so have our clients. They're really doing well. And I like bringing up Victor because he was one of my favorite test cases. Most of y'all know who Victor is. And he sent me his financials when we first met. I said, well, just send me your financials, just send them over and let me look at them. And I don't even think I got on past line 5 after revenue. I'm like, boom, there it is. It is just that quickly. And he's like, man, I just can't make much money. I'm getting paid okay, but there's just not much money. I need more money. I guess I need more revenue. I'm like, no, you don't. You need to slow down. Here's what's going on. You need to get your business back in line. You need to be in charge of your business and he did the meeting that I just said, and he set his people down and he set their expectations about what we're going to do. And where he was losing money was about $2 million. And I found it on about line 5 in his COGS, and it was discounts. And so he was allowing his technicians to set the pricing. Well, what do they know about the pricing? Right. And so he had over $2 million worth of pricing. So I called him up, and we're on a 2-hour time change, and I get up at 5 and I'm ready to go to work. I don't care. So I call him at 5:30 in the morning. It's 3:30 where he lives. He answers the phone. He jumps out. He answers the phone. I'm like, hey man, look, here's where it is. And then I gave him the explanation on the meeting I wanted him to have with his staff that week. And I said, we're going to set your price book up in Sera. where your membership rate is your discount, but that is the price you need. That is your margin that you need. That is the profitability you need. And then the non-member price is the penalty price, but you're going to give it to the customer as a discount to do a member, but you're not discounting anything. And do not allow your guys to discount your price any longer. And he stopped doing that. And then the $2 million appeared in his bank account. And so that's why when I say that money's already in your financial statements, it's already in your business. You're just not getting it to the bottom line. And this is what we help you do.
Absolutely. The other thing is, and I almost spit out my drink when I saw this comment come through. When you mentioned having massage or masseuses come into the office, he said, it was TJ Hartnett said, "Don't hire Deshaun Watson."
Oh, TJ.
Almost spit out my drink there. That was great. But he also said another great nugget as well, which is, I believe it was a Ricky Bobby quote, or at least his dad's quote from the movie, where you got to go slow to go fast. Right? It's spoken like a true race car driver, slow down to go faster. But
we're always in this race, we're in this race to get more revenue. That's what we've been coached to do all these years.
Well, that's what everyone brags about.
Yeah. And we need to stop. We need to stop doing that. I mean, I can help you make more money on a $5 million business than a guy running a $20 million business.
Well, what's the saying? Revenue is vanity and profit is sanity, is what I've heard, our friend Victor say a few times on that. But also performance monitors performance gained. That's the other part is if you're not monitoring these sorts of things, how are you to know?
That's correct.
If you're not looking at it, how are you to know? If you don't know how to look at it, how are you to know? But that's the nice part I like about when somebody partners with Sera and comes onto the technology is like, hey, you know what? I'll help you out. You're not there to just take their money and leave. You're there to make them a better business. I did want to say one thing, and then we can transition to the random question generator, Evan. But, when you talked a little bit about don't worry about your team leaving. I think about Tersh, right? And Tersh Blissett, Service Business Mastery, and what he does with his team members. If they want to go start a business, he actually sits them down and says, great. What do you want to know about running a business? I'll show you everything. I'll tell you everything. I'll teach you everything. And he doesn't care if they're going to go start a business because he's going to educate them the right way to be able to go do their business. We heard this last week, and we were in an intensive for agencies and a bunch of other agencies with coaches helping us get better at our business. What's the worst thing that you can do for somebody? Is they say they don't want to train their people more. They don't want to level their people up. Well, what if I train them and they leave? What if you don't train them and they stay?
Yeah.
Now your business is even worse because you don't have adequate people in there because you failed to train them and you failed to level your people up and failed to take that next step. So something to think on for everyone on that thought.
Awesome.
All right. Random question generator, one of my favorite parts of the show. We have 3 questions queued up here for you, Billy. You get to choose question 1, 2, or 3.
All right.
So we're not going to tell you the question either. You just got to choose before.
Oh, I see. I was like, I don't see him.
No, it's all good. We don't tell you. We give you a choice of 3 questions.
Well, we always try to get the customer to buy the medium Coke, so I'm going to take 2.
If someone were to sum you up in a phrase, what would that phrase be?
Oh Lord.
I mean, feel free to go 18R if you want.
Good question. So I think a phrase for me would be I'm just out of the box thinker. I'm just out of the box. That's my quirk. I can look at it. I just look at anything and this could be better, right? I mean, that's just how I am. So that out of the box kind of guy is the phrase I would use, I guess.
Love it.
Office rocker.
Right? Office rocker. So especially when you have too many ranch waters filled up in your Yeti on your boat, don't fall overboard. So, well, one of the things we were chatting about before, and it's actually kind of a perfect segue. We were chatting a little bit about phone systems and how people have other phone systems through other different places and the steps that it takes in order to be able to somebody to make a call back to a missed call. Now, you guys have telephony.
Telephony.
There we go. I was trying to think on it. I'm like, I see it as telephony, but telephony.
Yeah.
So
could be that.
Yeah, right. It could be that too. So walk us through telephony, what you guys have on the go there with Sera, and how you guys are kind of revolutionizing some of the missed call stuff that you guys see in your system.
Sure. It's something we're very proud of. I mean, we've had 2 amazing releases in the last 3 months. Job time efficiency came out about 3 months ago, and we just released telephony to our clients. Is one of the things that we needed to do. We became very proficient on online booking because 68% of the country is using their cell phone to book online. So we tackled that first. And then we jumped on the telephony, and so here's let me just kind of explain the difference between how we build our software and how all the other softwares. And everything on the market today is built with basically what was created in the 90s, kind of like a block stacking architecture, if you will. And so as they add more stuff, ultimately the blocks keep getting stacked up and things become more difficult. So as they get more cool things, you lose the efficiency and things become more difficult. And then you need, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so, it's kind of like data tables or how they build software. And so the data tables become so numerous, and those are the blocks. And I was told that, the greatest minds in engineering can handle about 40 data tables. Well, anything over that, you're splitting it up in different teams, and now nobody knows the whole system. And so you start building your blocks, and the next thing you know, you've got this, Oracle type software or something that wasn't built right in the first place for whatever software it was. And so that's checking the boxes, if you will. Check a box. Okay, we'll build this, check a box. What we do is connect dots. So our software is built by connecting dots. And so every time we add a feature, we actually make the software easier. It goes the opposite way. And so the features are designed to become easier and easier and make your job easier. And so as we add them, your workload decreases. And so telephony was a big project. It took us quite a while to build this. When I talk to vendors, the first question is, you guys got open APIs. An API is a way to connect software to other softwares. And all the other softwares have open APIs, but we don't. We chose to keep our system closed. And the reason why is open APIs don't allow the experience to be efficient, simple, and totally within the software. And so we build custom APIs. We build each one of them individually and custom. It costs me a lot more money, takes me a little more time, but this is the way we want to build software. The next generation of software is how it needs to be built. And so what happens is when we build something like telephony, which is a very big undertaking, you got to have all your ads. You need to know where all your ads are coming from, all the telephone numbers. You need to know what's happening when the customer comes in. But how do we do all this and not increase any work on anybody? Well, we go back to that auto magic stuff, right? We have the ability to auto magic just about anything. And so to accept the phone call in our system, it takes basically one click to accept the phone call. And then you don't lose where you are. You don't have to have multiple tabs open. Everything is right there. It slides out. It slides out. You have what you need, everything you need about that customer. Even if it's a brand new customer, their address or phone number. All these things start populating. It knows the difference between cell phone, landlines, all this stuff. And so all these things are done. So you just take the call, one click, and then what do you want to do next? Do you want to add a new customer? One click, it's there. What could I do for you today, Mrs. Jones? It's all right there. You don't leave there. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to do anything else other than what you're doing. If it's a repeat customer, all their job history, photos, and everything are right there where you want it to be. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to go look for it in another spot. That's connecting the dots. And so our telephony is basically taking away so much work on the other offerings that are out there. Missed calls, for those of you that have to deal with missed calls with certain softwares, that's like pulling teeth to figure that out, and the abandoned calls and all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff is very simple. It's basic. It's right there. Exactly the calls that were missed, whether or not it was spam, whether or not it was customer, all that stuff. It's just right there. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to leave where you were working. That's the key. It's you stay right there. Whatever you were doing before is stayed right there. It's there. This is on top of it, and you handle your business. You get it done. Sera tells you when we can go. Sera's already figured out which tech's the best tech, maybe the closest tech or the best tech for this job. All of that stuff's already figured out. You don't have to do any of that. You just, Sera will tell you what day and what time. If it's today, it'll tell you today. And you just, Mrs. Jones, I got 1 o'clock available. And it's 11 o'clock, whatever. And so all of that work is automatically done now. And I'm so proud of this build. I'm so proud of my team and how they were able to pull this off. Such a big thing, a big build. I mean, this was huge. And we showed it to our partner, CallRail, and they just flipped out. They actually jumped on another Zoom with us to show more of the executives in the team what we had done for them for their stuff, and they've never seen a build like this that just completely makes the job super simple.
Right. Well, and again, it comes back to what you were saying before about efficiencies. Yeah. Right now, it's not just on the job efficiencies and how technicians can be better and sales guys can be better and we can price better, but it comes back to the office, because at the end of the day, like you said earlier, everyone in this company is here to deliver a premium customer experience. Mm-hmm. And that comes from the janitor all the way up to the CEO and everyone in between. So it's, I really love that. And I love the simplicity of it. And I think genius is not in taking the simple and making it complex. Genius is taking the complex and making it simple. And that's what you're trying to deliver for people.
It's extremely hard to do it that way. It's easy to just do it. Yep. I wouldn't say it's easy software in itself. When I hear someone say, well, we're going to build a software, or I've built, I'm like, good luck.
Good luck. Have fun.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah.
This stuff is crazy. And so to do this, to make it easy for the end user requires a lot of work on the back end. Mm-hmm. You have to think of every situation and plan for it in code. Every little thing that you can possibly have happen. Guy getting in a wreck on the way to a call, all this stuff's got to be thought about. It's just everything that you can imagine. And the beauty of that is, I've sat in your chair. I know Mr. Owner and Mrs. Owner. I know what your problems are. I did this with you. I was a 1 truck, 2 truck, 3 truck, and on and on and on. I did it. And I know where the pain points are. And so that's what makes the difference. We know where we're going. When we wrote the first line of code, we know where the last line of code is going to be. We already know the entire roadmap of what we want to do. When other softwares, they build it, they use engineers to build it. Engineers think that they know how to run an HVAC company, and they just don't. And so I'll be honest with you, employing engineers is like herding cats. It's very hard because, they have their digital minds, and I'm a vinyl record. and I want a vinyl record, software. I want it to be good, great sound and easy to use, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we're trying to do, and it makes it hard. And so we're not going to get in a feature war with anyone. We're gonna do exactly what you need for us to do, and that is help you build your margins. It's to help you create efficiency in your business. It's to build your membership base so you can protect your backyard. And if you want to sell those memberships, increase your EBITDA, they increase your multiplier when you try to sell your business, when you have thousands of memberships. And then, of course, the EBITDA is what we strive for. And those are the 4 KPIs that I worry about. Everything else, in my opinion, is a PI. It's a performance indicator, but it's not key. If it doesn't flow directly into the 4 main KPIs that actually move the needle for you, you're wasting your time.
Can you repeat those 4 key KPIs one more time?
Sure. So it's margins, it's memberships, it's efficiency, and EBITDA.
There you go.
EBITDA. And for those, if you don't know what EBITDA is, it's earnings before interest, amortization, depreciation, and that's what it is. And so it's basically the cash flow of the business. So EBITDA is cash flow.
Yep.
Is basically that's how you should refer to it.
Sure. So you've got this amazing product, Sera. You've got it testing in BillyGo. What's the future hold in store for Sera? Is it strictly U.S. based? Is it anywhere in the world based? Where's your big seated vision for it? You saw that as yet. So we had a question.
Yeah. All right.
Australian, is it for plumbing? It is for plumbing. I know that. But what's the future plans?
It is super funny you bring it up because I was on a Zoom with the Canadian today, and it's like, man, when are we getting this? And it's not going to be much longer. And I have a friend over in Australia, Alan Ferguson. You guys probably know Alan and heard of him, and he's a big advocate of getting us over there. And really all it really takes for us to get over there is we need to build out the QuickBooks for Canada and QuickBooks for Australia, and then have a provider for like credit cards and stuff that'll build that technology for those countries. And that's really all we, that and a couple other little tweaks, but it's not a big undertaking. It's just right now it's a time constraint. We're trying to get out everything we can to help these companies continue to improve as fast as possible. But I will tell you that before you know it, we'll be in Canada and Australia. So just hang in there. We're coming. I imagine we'll be global, in the next couple of years. So just hang on. We're doing our best.
That's it. And this is another great lesson in terms of how to run a business. You have priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And, if we jumped at every single
Yes.
flashy thing that we should be running, that we could be using within our business, I mean, we'd never get anything done.
That's right. Evan, you hit the nail on the head right there, buddy.
Yeah. It's so important to know what it is that you are as a business, and to know what is the most important things for you, and to have a filter for which to make decisions. And if this new thing is not going to help you get there, then not right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and we prioritize what's going to move the needle the most. And,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we do. And job time efficiency is giving you job costing like you've never had. It has never existed before.
Mm-hmm.
It's job costing on steroids. I mean, you really get to know what's happening instead of trying to build spreadsheets. And, people spend their days building spreadsheets and they don't get any work done. We're going to eliminate spreadsheets. We don't need those.
That's music to Evan's ear.
Yeah. We don't need spreadsheets, and believe it or not, we feel like we can build our entire system without forms as well.
Wow.
Because if you build the system where it flows and you connect dots, you don't need the form. You're going to get the information,
Right.
and it's going to be information that you can start using instead of looking at all these forms and putting them, in a file. And then everybody's spending time looking at forms instead of going forward. And so we really feel like we could build the entire system without you having to use another form. And I think that'd make a lot of techs happy.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of owners happy because there he is. There's Alan.
Alan decided to chime in there. That's great.
Yes, yeah. Love you too, buddy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great advocate for us. He's a great guy.
Absolutely.
Speaking of advocating, if you want to get in touch with, we're going to shamelessly plug you and how to get in touch with you. I'm sure Evan had another question, but so Sera.tech is the website, SERA, Sera.tech. If you want to reach out to Billy at Sera.tech, or if you want to follow them on the old Facebooks, facebook.com/SeraSystems would be the 3 best ways to get in touch with Sera.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. We came off the couch so that I could come and build this, and I want to share it with as many people as possible because I really think we can do a lot for these companies. I think it'll be, if you want to sell your company, it's going to make these PE firms happy to buy companies that are, have great culture. They won't have a bunch of turnover. They can go forward and do better better even with their PE firms. You know what I mean? They can get more multiples out or multiple from theirs, increase their EBITDAs as well. And so we just feel like our software, if you know, we got Chuck in the trucks running it. I don't think it's a great idea because it's just, you know, if you got someone in the office, that's all I need. Just give me one person in the office and some people out in the field, and then we can manage the whole thing.
Right.
But we got a couple guys doing that, and then we've got larger companies in there. And as time goes on, and as we do more stuff, the companies are continuing to get larger and larger. And so the larger the company is, the bigger the savings, the bigger the efficiency is. It's amazing the amount of work that we just kill. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this then. In you know, we just talked about prioritization and making sure that the decision making you're making in the company is driven by priority. For someone who is in a place where changing their CRM software, their business software, is not the highest priority item at the current moment because it's the middle of August, and at the end of the day, this is for companies in the South, their last big rush to really get as much business done as possible so that they can build up their memberships so that they don't have a shoulder season, which we talked about last time in February. Yeah. For them, what would you say is the easiest way that they could start to measure efficiency, start to pay attention to profitability so that when the timing is right, they can come into it and take full advantage of that CRM software?
I think really and truly it's just getting the owners back in control of the business is what I would do first. Having that meeting and setting the record straight on how you're going to run this business and how you're going to support the people in the field and how you're going to support the people in the office, and that you stand behind it and you don't let go of that. Once you implement it, you drive it and you make it happen. You're going to get a complete turnaround in the mentality of your employees. That is what I think you should do. As far as measuring efficiency, I don't really know how. I spend a lot of time with Landon Brewer. We actually talk every week. They tried for years to build that spreadsheet. Yeah, you know, he's like, we just couldn't do it. You know, we tried. It's a beast to build an efficiency spreadsheet, and we just couldn't do it. And we're like, well, watch me. You know, I'll do it. And so you know, we did it. We worked our butts off, but we got it figured out. And so I just don't know how you can do it until you have something that will help you gauge that. I think the biggest thing is get your asylum back under your control. If I could give you any advice at all, start. And my number 2 advice, and sometimes I call this the number 1 advice, is learn about your financials. Have them produced for you by the 10th of the month. So when you finish a month, on the 10th of the following month, have your accountant have that in your hands, and start learning how to read those financials. I'm going to do some videos and stuff about this, and show you how you should set up financials. A lot of financials are even set up improperly. And we help you with that because sometimes I see that, you know, like credit cards or fees for financing and stuff may be in the overhead section, and it's not overhead. And the reason it's not overhead is because you never got that money. And so this would be in revenue, because think about it like this. If you sell a $10,000 system and you pay 10% for easy math to the finance company, you're getting $9,000. You never got the other 1,000, but you build your flat rate pricing on 10,000. You're off. You're already not going to hit the margin, right? You should have built that on 9,000, right? And that's what we do. That's how we fix for you, and that's how we help you the most. And so, number 1, get control of the asylum, get back in charge of your business, and by doing that, create culture and support for your employees. Make them want to be there. Learn how to read financials. Don't do checkbook accounting. It's never going to get you anywhere. You know, there's $100 in there, we're good. No, that doesn't work. There's $10,000 in there. we're good. It doesn't work. You need to know what's going on and why you only have 10 grand and why you don't have 100 grand. And if you have 100 grand, why don't you have 1 million? And this is how we help you do that, by helping you understand your financials. And the goal is I'm going to teach you how to read a P&L. And when you totally figure it out and you got that coming every month on the 10th, then I'm going to move you over to the balance sheet. And when you start running your business on the balance sheet, you're a badass. And that's what we're going to do with you. And so those are the two things I would do right now if I were you. I would start getting this ready because we're coming into the shoulder season, and now we got time to work on all of this stuff. Let's make hay while we can make hay. I get it. I will say we had a record month though. We implemented so many HVAC companies. It blew our minds. How many AC companies said, I don't care, I'm still going, because every day I wait is every day I'm losing money. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of them, some of them were so excited that we've launched them in 2 weeks during the summer. They just wanted to get going. And so they can start taking advantage of the new things that they're learning. And so that's what we're experiencing. So get your culture right, read your financials, understand them, get with your accountant, get with your banker. I didn't know anything, guys. I didn't when I started. I didn't know. I don't have a college degree. I didn't know how to read financials. But I was fortunate that I had a banker that said, I'll loan you the money just to build this business on your character, because you don't have any money. And I need your father-in-law's signature because he has money.
I remember that story from when we had you on last time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but the thing was, he goes, if I do this, you got to learn how to read financials. And so I want you in here on the 10th of every month with your financial statements, and we're going to sit around this little table right here, and we're going to walk through it. And he taught me. And that was probably the best thing that could ever happen to me. He made me understand dollar in, dollar out. How do you get 20 cents out of that dollar? And that's what my biggest advice I could give to anyone that's listening to this show is those two things.
Amazing feedback, amazing advice. Thank you so much, Billy. This has been phenomenal. Obviously going deep in terms of Sera and how it can dramatically affect a business and change the trajectory of that business. But also some really tangible advice for those that are not looking to change their software, and definitely get their business going in the right direction. So thank you so much for all of that.
You're welcome.
We do have one final question for you. And if you remember from the last time, it's still the same one. What is one question that you wish people would ask you more, but they don't?
So I got to come up with a new one. I think I said last time, how you doing or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was pretty chill,
Just
if I remember correctly.
pretty basic.
Yeah.
That's still my one is like, let's just all take a seat and just, hey, how's it going? Not talk about this all the time.
Right.
Let's just get to know each other. So to me, hey man, what's up?
Nice. Have a ranch water, sit on the boat.
Yeah.
Just chill out.
This is fun. If you own a business, do you realize when you own a business, how fortunate you are? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is crazy fortunate stuff that you own this business. It's yours. You created it out of thin air, and we're just trying to try to help you make it everything that it can be. And to me, let's chill and have a wrench water and go, frickin' A, I own a business. Bang, cheers. Right? I mean, we're blessed. We're not out there, on the grind 9 to 5, get punching a time clock. We're actually out there free. We're free.
6 a.m. till 9 p.m.
Yeah, we're free. And if your business is stressing you out and it's wearing you out, let's change some things, and let's change those two things first, and let's make it fun. Yeah. And when I come in, I'm high-fiving, and I'm not in a bad mood. I'm glad I'm going. I'm having a great time. And this is my second go round. I'll be honest, I was stressed before the first time. But if you really just change your attitude about it, everything changes.
Totally.
And have fun with it. You're blessed. You own a business.
I love the Tony Robbins quote, trade your expectations for appreciation and your whole life will change.
Yep.
Everyone's expecting their business to be at a stage where they're not yet there. And instead of appreciating where it is that they're currently at, and all of the impact that they're able to make within their business, with all the mouths they're able to feed, all the customers they're able to help. It truly is a gift. So I also believe that you are a gift to the industry, and what you are doing now. You've come back to the industry and are doing it in such a humble, giving way. And it's truly amazing and really special to watch. So thank you so much for your time, because I know your time is valuable, for coming on the show. We truly appreciate that. And thank you for just being a giver within the industry, whether someone's a part of Sera or not. You're doing your best to give back, and it's truly making an impact. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, Billy.
Hope everybody got something out of it.
Absolutely.
Just one nugget's all you need.
That's
All you
it.
need,
That's
right?
it. Take one and act on it.
Yes.
Right.
Just follow
Simple as
through.
that.
All
That's the biggest
Cheers,
thing.
everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Guys.
Well, that's a wrap on another episode of HVAC Success Secrets Revealed. Before you go, two quick things. First off, join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/HVAC Revealed. The other thing, if you took one tiny bit of information out of this show, no matter how big, no matter how small, all we ask is for you to introduce this to one person in your contacts list. That's it. That's all. One person. So they too can unleash the ultimate HVAC business. Until next time, cheers.